Good morning, guys. Today I want to talk to you about a dieting approach that I have found to be the most effective for building muscle and burning fat. And the name I call this diet is called the anabolic diet, which is probably very unoriginal. There's probably another diet or a lot of other diets called the anabolic diet, but I believe after watching this video and understanding how this diet works, you'll understand why this is the anabolic diet, why it is named that. And I don't want to walk too far now into the traffic area where you guys can't hear me, so I'm going to walk back. There's probably going to be a weird shadow on my face here, but it is what it is. So after today's video, I want you to understand why this is the most anabolic diet. And what does anabolic mean? Anabolic means muscle building. So yes, muscle building in a phase to where you're growing and trying to actively build muscle tissue by being in a calorie surplus, and then also muscle building or muscle preserving in a dieting phase where your goal is fat loss and preserving the maximum amount of muscle and possibly even building some. So let's first get into what the diet is. And the diet essentially is going to be high carbohydrates, as high as possible, low fats, and then moderate to high protein. So first and foremost, why the high carbohydrates? So let's lay some groundwork about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are going to be a direct energy source for your training and your performance in the gym. They're going to help you get stronger. They're going to help you get through your workouts. They're going to allow you to train hard. On the other side of that, they also help out with recovery. They spike insulin. Insulin is going to drive those carbs into the muscle cells to be there ready for your next workout. But they're also going to drive along things like amino acids and protein into the muscle to help recover and repair and build new muscle tissue. With insulin being activated and used, you're going to maintain higher IGF-1 levels, insulin-like growth factor 1 levels in the body, which is a signal for muscle growth. Also, carbohydrates are extremely easy to eat, and I'm talking about very simple carbohydrates. Some can be complex, but let's talk about simple carbs. I'm talking like rice, potatoes, juice, fruit, some cereals, rice cakes, cream of rice, things like that. And the reason for that is because they are basically devoid of fat. They don't have any extra fats in them. So they're extremely easy to eat. Carbs will also stimulate metabolism. They're going to help convert T4 into T3, which T4 is inactive thyroid hormone. T3 is active thyroid hormone, which dictates the speed of your metabolism. So with a higher T3 level or more optimal T3 levels, you're going to have a fast metabolism. Now, carbs will also lower cortisol levels. They will help you sleep. So there's a laundry list of benefits that you get from carbohydrates. Now, a key component to this diet is low fats. And the carbs will work better with the low fats, and I'll explain why. So first, let's talk about why we would eat fats, dietary fats. Well, we do need some essential fatty acids each day, which would be like your EPA and DHA. And we do need those. However, it's a couple grams. It might be 5 to 10 grams of that each day. Maybe even 4 or 3 grams of that for some people. Now, outside of that, fats will also help build cell membranes. Fats will slow gastric emptying. So they're going to essentially kind of keep you fuller a bit longer because they're going to slow down your digestion a bit. They're going to help with regularity, allowing you to go to the bathroom and not have a hard time on the toilet when going number 2. And then much outside of that, the list of benefits doesn't continue to go up like they do go up for carbohydrates. And then of course protein we want high because protein is what's going to help build muscle. Now let's get into some numbers. First, we'll start with protein where we left off here, which protein, I like between 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Some people can push up to 2. I personally have never done it. and it may be something that I visit in the future, but protein 1.2 to 1.5. I don't think a gram is enough. I like a bit more. Protein's also going to have a thermic effect on the body, meaning it costs calories to digest protein, so your body's going to burn calories to digest that protein. Then the next macronutrient we'll talk about is fats. What is low fats? How much is low fats? Everyone's different, right? Everyone weighs different. And the way I like to calculate the fat intake is going to be 0.15, so 15%, to 0.30 times your body weight. So if you are someone that is 200 pounds and you take 15% of 200 pounds, it's 30 grams. That's 30. That'd be 30 grams of fat per day. If you were to do 30% of 200 pounds, that's 60 grams of fat a day, which is still kind of on the higher end, but that's the top end, and that's the most fat someone that's 200 pounds really needs. Even for natural athletes. Look, I understand that natural athletes do need hormone production from they build their hormones from their fats, but just don't go below 0.15. So don't go below 15% if you're a natural. But if you're an enhanced athlete, you could probably take fats even to lower than that, as long as you're getting your essential fatty acids. Now, carbohydrates, it's going to depend on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to build muscle and you're in a calorie surplus, you're going to want to get your carbs as high as possible while maintaining insulin sensitivity and while there is a need for them. We don't want to just slam carbs without a need. We want our body to need the carbs, and then we fill that in and meet that need with the carbohydrates. In a dieting phase, we will eat as much carbs as we need to be able to fuel training performance, but to still lose body fat. So the lever that's going to be pulled on in both scenarios, whether they're going to go up or down, is the carbohydrates. So, like I said, I listed a bunch of benefits for the carbohydrates. They're going to be a direct energy source for training. They're going to provide strength. Post-workout, they're going to help recover the muscle better. They're going to lower cortisol levels. They're going to keep stress lower. They're going to allow you to sleep better. They are going to keep the metabolism fast by converting inactive thyroid hormone T4 into active thyroid hormone T3. And the goal with building muscle is to build lean muscle. The goal with dieting is to burn as much body fat while preserving lean muscle. Carbohydrates are going to do this best. Fats, yes, there are good calories, or a lot of calories. The calories you get from fats is 9 calories per gram. So yes, fats are very calorie dense. However, they don't have benefits. And what I want you to understand is that calories in, calories out does not make sense. If you are wanting to be the best athlete, not even bodybuilder, but if you want to build the best physique possible, it's not about calories in, calories out. It's about what actually your body can use, what your body's actually going to get benefits from, not just about calories, right? If I just ate all my calories from fats, I'm probably not going to build any muscle from that. If I ate all my calories from protein, I might not get as strong because I don't have any carbs to fuel training. If I ate all my calories from carbohydrates, I might not recover very well because I don't have any protein to recover. What we want for a lean physique and to build lean, clean gains in either an off season or to preserve the most amount of muscle in a dieting phase is as carbs as high as needed. Protein 1.2 to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight, and fats 0.15, so 15 to 30% of your total body weight. Follow this. You can take the exact same diet and the calories that you're on currently, and if you just plug those numbers in, you will get pretty much instant results. You'll notice your physique is doing better. You'll notice that your workouts are better. You'll notice that your training feels better. You'll probably notice that your sleep is better. You may notice that your, like I said, training is better, and your fat loss, you wind up being leaner because of this. I'm gonna give 2 more points here about fats and why we don't want them. Yes, fats are extra calories, but if you're in a calorie surplus, your body will store those extra fats readily and easily because fats can just get slid right into a fat cell. Carbs, it's very unlikely that they'll be converted into fats. Your body's not deficient in body fat. It has body fat. So what carbs are gonna do, they can be stored in the muscle, they can be stored in the bloodstream and be weight to use as blood sugar. The liver, the brain can burn them up. There's plenty of places for carbs to go in the body. Fats can only go into the fat cell if you were in a calorie surplus. And then the other point I wanted to make is there's a question that, well, when do I get more hungry when I'm dieting if I don't have the fats? If I'm digesting these carbs so fast, won't I be more hungry? You may, but you can fill up on other things like vegetables that are virtually 0 calories, cucumbers, pickles, diet sodas, things like that, water. Because if you just want food volume in your stomach, you want to feel full. You could do butternut squash, you could do zucchini. You don't have to go like simple carbs. You could do potatoes with the skins on them, more fibrous carbs and things like that to maintain that stomach fullness. One final point. The reason why we don't want to delay our gastric emptying with fats is because what happens when you have fats along with carbohydrates in the diet is it takes your body longer to clear those blood sugars. When you have fats, when you have carbs with minimal fats in the body, what will happen is you're gonna have a spike in blood sugars. Your body's gonna recognize this. Insulin's gonna come in and store those carbohydrates and clear the blood sugars. Now those carbs are in the muscle where we want them. The blood sugars get to a certain point where your body says, hey, there's not enough substrate in the blood. Blood sugar is not gonna go to 0, right? The body will always maintain a certain blood sugar. But what it will do at that point is once it senses that there's not enough sugar in the blood, it will pull from another substrate like body fats. And what fats do in this scenario is if you're eating a bunch of fat with your carbs is you're slowing not only the gastric emptying of these carbs getting into your bloodstream, but you're slowing it down in the bloodstream as well. So now your blood sugars stay elevated longer, and the longer they stay elevated, that's less time that your body could be in a fat burning zone. So that's why I say for both off-season growing phases, keep the fats to 0.15 to 0.3, and same thing with your diet. Use the carbs. They have the benefit. They are anabolic. The fats are not. The fats serve a few simple purposes, and beyond that, they have no benefit. I hope you guys found this video insightful. I am gonna go eat some carbs and some protein. I am not against fats. I love fats. I love the way they taste. But when I'm trying to get in the best shape possible, fats, 0.15 to 0.3% of my total body weight. 0.3, 15 to 30% of my total body weight is all the fats you need. Okay guys, follow for more. See you guys soon.